Hello and welcome to the Biz Talk Live Show. I am your host, Shanté R. Roddy. We thank you guys for showing up today. Please come in, join us, leave your comments, say hello to us. Please hit the like button. If you love small business, hit the love button. Every week, we bring you a new guest to inspire you and empower you to be the best entrepreneur that you can be, to pursue all those dreams that you want to pursue, because we know that it can happen for you. So all of these stories are here to help equip you, give you what you need to be successful in your life and in your business. And this week we have a special guest, and her name is JoVonne Walker. Hi, JoVonne.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thank you for having me on here.
We are so happy to have you here. Can you share with our guest who you are, what you do, and who it is that you serve?
All right, awesome. I'm JoVonne Walker. I'm the creative marketing communications coach. I'm the owner of Think About It LLC. It's a creative marketing company that helps entrepreneurs to build strategies associated with marketing. So content marketing, understanding how to build an actual plan, understanding how to push it out to the right audience, and how to continue to grow your business through policies and things of that nature. And is in terms of the entrepreneurship piece, I just recently transitioned from full-time entrepreneurship from full-time employee to full-time entrepreneur. So thank you. So with that transition, it's like I've built something that can really help people that are going from being an employee to an entrepreneurship. So that's what I'm doing to kind of focusing in on that area.
That's fantastic. And so I know you said that you just made the full transition.
Yeah.
That has to be super exciting. That is a huge accomplishment, because I know so many entrepreneurs are looking to do that same thing. So I can't congratulate you enough for that, because that is so huge. But with that said, how long have you been on this entrepreneurial path with your business to get you to this point?
Okay. So I started my business in 2015, and a bunch of what I was doing was specifically content writing and content editing. I really wanted to show people I know what I'm doing. Yes. So I was actually doing a lot of done for you services for different entrepreneurs. I ended up hitting up social media, managing certain social media accounts as well as a result of that. So building out content for websites, building out content for social media posts, and overlooking proposals and all those things. So I was working on a very kind of widespread but it was specifically catered towards the busy entrepreneur, the one that didn't have the time to do it. So here, I could do it for you. So I started in 2015. As time progressed, I would say between 2018, the middle of 2018 until now, is when I really started focusing on teaching and actually providing coaching services that would help people to grow. For those people that wanted to build their business and understand how to go about it, they may not necessarily be that busy yet, where they don't have the hands to do it. But I wanted to show them, this is how you can actually do it. And I realized too, another reason why I wanted to show them is because doing it for the people became quite tedious for me. And, I'm not able to even work on what I really want to work on, because I'm kind of constantly building someone else's platform. So I figured out a way to kind of transition that whole piece as well.
That's fantastic. And so with your corporate job, were you working in the same industry, or what is this something totally different? Like, if this was something that is a gift for you, it was more like a hobby that you transitioned into a business, or was this an industry that you were already working in?
The corporate position was not even an industry in which I'm doing now. So I was a pricing analyst, and I worked for a retail company. And so as a pricing analyst, I pretty much set up retails based off of what's going on in competitive data, what have you. That's still kind of marketing, but that wasn't the main focus of everyday type of social media marketing, grassroots marketing, online, offline type of marketing as well. So I gained a lot of that experience from actually working with my church. And it was about 10.5 years ago, and they asked me, can you help us with an event? I'm like, sure. And did not realize, as I was helping with the event, how much I would enjoy doing that. And I was really the marketing person. You know, I put the marketing budget together. I was reaching out to the graphic designer to get all the information so that it can be placed on flyers and pushed out on social media, reaching out to different email groups that will be sending out like mass emails, as well as reaching out to radio stations and anything that was associated with like pushing information to businesses, also building up sponsorships as well. So that was how I gained that experience. And, you know, I worked with my church for about 9.5 years as it relates to being the marketing manager. So that really helped me to grow. It helped me to really understand like the ins and outs of marketing. And of course, you know, just building up knowledge in terms of reading books and, you know, researching on my own how to really grow and develop in that regard.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that you said that you were volunteering, because I was having this conversation the other day, and I try to let people know how important it is to take on other initiatives like volunteering, working with charity organizations to build up your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a number of ways that you can do that. It doesn't have to be like a paying job per se, but there's a lot of different things that you can do to build that skill set.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you said that you were working with your church, because people forget to even put that on their resume.
Right.
Like, you build up this wealth of experience, and you know that's part of your portfolio that you can now take out and sell to someone. So that's super fantastic.
Thank you.
And so you work with the church. So what was it really about working with entrepreneurs? What is it that you said, like in your heart, that, okay, I want to take my skills and then work with entrepreneurs?
Okay, so
to help with their marketing.
Yeah, the reason why when I first started, I would like right before I first started, I would always see various flyers and signs, and I would notice like that it probably could have caught more attention if it was worded right.
Yeah.
So, a lot of times it was some grammatical errors, or it was just like, I don't really know what you're trying to tell me here. So that was something I was like, instead of me sitting back and kind of complaining about like, they didn't do it right, you know, they didn't do it right, let me help them. Yeah. So I took on the approach of, you know, kind of like a transformed mind to like, let me not sit back, but just actually help and present opportunities to help people as it relates to delivering a better message. And that's really where Think About It came from, is understanding what you're saying, how you're saying it, and who you're saying it to. Understanding the target client piece and how you can really gain the right traction as a result of what you're delivering.
And I'm glad that you said that. So I wanted to ask you, how important do you think the messaging is? Because like you said, I know it's a challenge for a lot of people. And like you said, getting your messaging right, not only that, but targeting your message to the right person. And sometimes if we're not copywriters, we don't really know what to say. We're trying to communicate, but we may not be sending the right message, or we're sending the right message to the wrong person.
Right.
So how important is that do you think it is to be able to attract the clients that we want?
I believe it's extremely important. I believe that anything that a business does should be resonating with the audience in whom it serves. If you're trying to attract new people, you need to be talking their language. I tell people all the time, I tell people that I worked with, like, the importance of understanding your target client so much that anything that you say to them resonates with them. Whether or not you're a soccer mom going out and doing what they need to do, or you are taking care of business in and out of the household, like, present some level of messaging that talks to their day in and day out situations. That's what really, really helps to grow. That's what makes it more real too, as opposed to mechanical messages, or as opposed to like bland messaging. Like, you'll have an audience that doesn't necessarily know what you're saying, because you're trying to speak to everybody. And so you can't generalize what you're doing. You have to speak directly to who you're serving. And that comes through research. That comes through talking to the people that you want to serve. That comes through those types of things. So It's very, very important. And also it helps to build on your unique qualities as well. If you are able to talk to them, if you're able to really reach out to them and really share and showcase what you can do for them on their level, then they'll be more willing to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So on your journey, let's talk a little bit about your journey getting to this point where you are. Let's first start with the transition piece because I'm so excited about that. And I know there's so many entrepreneurs that want to do it. Can you just walk us through what that process was like to, be doing this for the last couple of years since 2015 and to finally be able to make that leap? What was that process like? That full leap?
Okay. The process, honestly, I would tell you, definitely had some ups and downs. Like, I would say ups because it was like, oh my gosh, I'm gaining traction because when I first started, I would do a lot of social media posts. I would do a lot of lives, just to gain some awareness as to what I do, and built some clientele off of that. And then it would be times where when I was actually in my full-time position, I didn't have the leeway that I needed. I was tired by the time I made it home. So I really couldn't post anything and I was barely doing anything because I was like, I felt like stuck per se, like I couldn't really get out, even though I had all this greatness on the inside of me, I couldn't really get it out because I was tired, I was tired from working, my 8 to 5, sometimes 8 to 6, working almost like 50 hours a week. And so that would just kind of not give me the opportunity to really work on stuff. So over time, I had to kind of get to the point where it was like, either I'm going to feel stagnant in what I'm doing or change my mind and actually just go ahead and pursue it. And so it took me, of course, since 2015 to 2019 to really kind of see that and to see myself like bigger than where I was. It was a lot of like self-talking, self-encouraging, self-affirmations to kind of get me to that place, because it was like, I would feel like, yeah, I got this. And then the very next day I'm like, I don't have it, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's like, it was a constant battle. So finally, I know another reason why, in terms of like transitioning, I went through a period of fear too. I had, for about a year, I had been thinking about, I need to get out of this corporate position because I know I can do so much.
Yes.
Other side. Like I know I can do so much on the other side, but then it was that whole fear factor of, well, you're able to get your benefits. You have this, when that paycheck is coming every week, how this is going to happen for you. You are secure. And I, went through that whole, like, I don't know if I can do this because I'm not sure what this other side is really going to look like, even though I have goals, visions, dreams, but from that security piece, like, I really don't know what that's going to look like. And that's really what halted me. And I remember just having like a talk with God, like, and he was just like, do it. And so when I did, it was so like, for me, it was one of those like things where, even though I had talked about it to different people, like, hey, I think I'm gonna be leaving, but I don't know when, type of thing. When I finally heard like the clearance, like, just go and do it, it happened. And I'm telling people afterwards, like, oh yeah, I turned in my 2 weeks notice. I turned in my notice, and they're like, you did it? I'm like, yes. But when I turned it in, I promise you, I felt so relieved. Even like that whole stress piece of fearing what was going to happen.
Yes.
It's just like the weight was lifted. That whole thing was lifted. So it's like, okay, I'm definitely on the right path. I'm definitely on the right track. I'm definitely, going to secure the future for what God has for JoVonne. So it was like that whole piece of, don't be afraid. I got you the whole way through. Because that was a whole talk that God had with me. Like, I got you. Don't worry. Like, I got this. You have been training yourself for this. You have been researching. You have been developing areas of your life, areas of your business where you will be able to succeed. And so that's what really got me to just making that leap. Like, it wasn't easy, but I got there.
Yeah, it's never easy. And why I say it's such an accomplishment is because you did it. You felt the fear. Like, everybody goes through that, and it's like you did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
despite of the fear, and the security. And so a lot of people have that challenge. They're like, they think that their job is their place of security, and they're like, I want to hold on to that, but they're being called to something different, and it's like a tug of war. Do I stay? Do I go? Do I stay? Do I go? And ultimately, you have to follow your dream. If the Lord is speaking to you, this is what you're called to do. He is going to provide.
Yeah.
So He is your source. It's never the job or where you're at. Is God is your source, and if He's calling you to something greater, follow that.
Yeah.
Be obedient to that, and He will cover you, protect you along that journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly how I feel and felt as a result of that. So I'm like, I feel better than ever. Like my very first week, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I can enjoy life like I've never enjoyed it before. So I'm just grateful for following through on what God said, just doing it.
Yes, absolutely. And so what would you say are maybe 2 or 3 of the top challenges that you've experienced in your entrepreneurship journey that you've been able to overcome?
I would say one of the challenges is time management. Really knowing how to manage your specific time in terms of this recent transition. This has been something different for me because my mind has literally been trained to, you work, your full-time regular employee position, and then you go home and you work some more. And so I'll find myself like working. I might start off in the morning. I might take a elongated break, and then I might go back to working and be working all the way up until like 2 and 3 in the morning. So it's like understanding how to like put that in one section of the day as opposed to kind of spreading it out. That's one of the things that I'm working on. And I've just recently kind of just gotten in a groove on making sure that I stay in a certain timing of the day, and then going to sleep earlier so that I can wake up earlier too. So that's definitely one thing. Another thing I know when I began was understanding really how to build out my policies for my business, because oftentimes you'll be working on a project and then the client will come back like, that's not what I wanted. Well, when we talked about what you wanted, that you didn't say that. And so changing something mid thing, and I'm like, that's extra work, so that, that's something that would have to cost more, based off of the work that I had to do. So understanding how to really put my foot down in terms of building out a policy, building out a plan, like, okay, this is how our process is going to work. If there are things that you need to come up with and you need to say, or you want done differently, we are going to be discussing these things. If you decide towards the end of the project that you want to change it all the way up, then that's going to be an extra service fee, things of that nature. So that was a major challenge, because I would just be so frustrated. Like, I can't believe, that this happened. But at the same time, like, okay, well, you got to create something where you make it set in stone, like this is what's going to happen, and be okay with saying no, if it's something that you cannot do, you can't control.
Yes, I think that is so good, because it's so important for us to set boundaries. Okay. And part of that is putting those processes and procedures in place. So for ourselves, so that we know what's going on. So we're setting the expectation, and then that we're better able to communicate that to our clients and then enforce them.
Right.
So not having those policies and procedures, because I'm a process person. So I like that you said that, because it can be very costly. So it's costing you time. So now you're overworked, you're overboard, and you're doing things outside of the scope that you initially committed to, and that you priced for. And so it's not only costing you time, it's costing you more money. And it can build up resentment too with your client. You don't want to come have that type of energy like with your client. So I think that is a really good tip, is to make sure you have your policies and processes written down and communicated to your stakeholders and those people that you're working with. So that's really good. Thank you for that. And so if you could go back and do something differently, what would you do differently, if anything?
I would probably start earlier, honestly. Knowing that I'm like the whole you can have the autonomy that you need. And I understand I've had positions within corporate where I've had some level of autonomy, but it still has to be approved by somebody at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
So with being an entrepreneur, you have that leeway to, you don't have to seek approval from anyone, but you can just go ahead and do what you have to do and be cool with it, create your own strategy, and develop, grow it, and make it, make something happen. I think that is like one of the biggest things. Like, man, if I had started this a year ago, just imagine where I would have been. And that's one of the main things. Like, okay, I could have, I could have started a little bit earlier, but I'm grateful for where I am right now. But it's just, you're just thinking like, turn back the hands of time. That could have been, it could have been something. So, yeah.
Now, if thinking about, I like when we were talking about your dreams, pursuing your dreams, and wanting to make sure that people pursue their dreams and knowing that they can become a reality. What would you share with our audience for tips on how they can turn their dream into a reality for their lives?
Okay. I believe that it first starts with your mindset. If, for instance, you already daydream about whatever it is that you want to do, right? And you have written out a bunch of stuff, just even if it's not necessarily planned, it's just written somewhere. Like, I want to do this, that, and the third, a million other things associated with that. But understanding that your mindset plays a big part in accomplishing your dreams. And that means that even though you're writing these things out, you can see it. It's just, if it's just written, it's just written, but you have to actually believe that you can do it by actually putting into place the steps right now, walking the steps to make it happen. So the first thing is to believe that you can do it, be persistent about making it happen, and just be consistent in making it happen. Mindset is important. The persistency goes along with that, and that consistency will help you to continue to go forward and move forward and do the things that you need to do.
That's good. So all of us have a dream. You have a dream. If you don't have a dream, you need to get a dream. There's something, it's inside of you. It's inside of you. So you have a dream. We know that you can make it a reality. So you have to first believe it. That's why I tell people, a lot of time people think, when you talk about motivating people and mindset, they think it's like cheesy, right? And they really don't think of it as really important. Right. People are just trying to make $1, but that's a hustle. That's not a business, right? Right. And that's not a purposeful mindset. Mm-hmm. You have to believe in yourself and believe in your dream. And for a lot of us, we have to break down those limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves, about what's possible, about our capabilities, and make that shift and be intentional about working. It's like an exercise, and to put these things in a habit so that we create that shift so that we can make our dreams a reality. So I thank you so much for sharing that.
Another thing with that is, that whole belief thing is, once you believe, you're really pretty much pushing against the fear that's on the inside. Because as humans, we do have, if it's something that we've never done before, there's a little bit of hesitancy, and it's associated with fear because we're not sure what it's going to look like on the other side. And so, we have to be willing to press past press past it, because if you don't press past the fear, then you're going to be stuck. And many people will complain about, I'm stuck here. I don't feel like I'm going anywhere. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But it's because we're fearful in some way, shape, or form, and we're not pushing through it. And so in order to become unstuck, you have to really believe that you got to get out of that. But belief is also in pushing past that fear, that one thing that's holding up that wall that's right in front of whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You got to be willing to just jump over it or push it or bulldoze through it, because other than that, you're going to be stuck. And I really, it's my heart's desire to see everybody win. Honestly, it's my heart's desire to see everybody accomplishing the their God-given dreams, pursuing purpose in every shape, every form, every moment of it, and just living out the lives that they were created to live. And when I see people stuck, like what's full of opportunities, full of dreams, full of aspirations, full of goals that they like literally talked about that they want to do, but then they're like, I don't even know how to get there. That like hurts me, because it's like, if you could only see how good you are, if you could only believe how powerful you are, if you could only intake, you know, the goodness that is on the inside of you. You don't have a dream just to have it. God has given every one of us a dream to make it happen, to make whatever it is that we need to do happen. If you want to start a bookstore, if you want to, you know, start a bike shop, if you want to do hair, whatever, God has given you that opportunity. He's giving you the creativity to go along with it. So just make it happen, and don't think about what people are going to say about it. Don't even allow your own self to limit you from fulfilling it. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. Just take the first step and just see what happens. Because when you take the first step, I promise you, if God has given it to you, it's going to work for you good.
Yes. And I love that. And, you know, one thing that I think about with entrepreneurs and, you know, why I do what I do is that being an entrepreneur and a business owner can be a lonely road. Yeah. And a lot of times we are isolated from others, and sometimes find it challenging to connect with other people. I think it's so important that we make the right connections, strategic connections, to help us get closer to our dream. So even if we're having these like limiting beliefs, we need people, a support system to help pull us out and tell you, yes, you can do it. I believe in your dream. Yes, it can happen. It's going to happen. Yeah. You know, you're a genius at what you do. You need that support system. Yeah. And so I promote that a lot. Mm-hmm. How important would you say, like even in your personal experience, have making connections and building strong relationships supported you in pursuing your dreams and being successful?
I would say that a bulk of my support system has been from family and friends. Some of my friends are entrepreneurs, so they have really been supportive of the things that I'm doing. Just kind of saying, JoVonne, you got this. You know, I don't know why you're stressing. You know, you can do this. So I have that support system. My family are like, they just believe in me. Like, I don't care what you do. If you could be sailing across the Isle of Britain, I don't care. But they just know that, first of all, I don't do rash things. So they believe in anything that I put forward. So just having that, like if I'm stressed out, I know who I can talk to. And that's just helped me in building that. And even now with connections that I'm making, I'm really being strategic in building those connections, like outside of the people that I've already known for years, but building connections with people that are like-minded, you know, people that are just building their business or have been in business for a while, like those that could be mentors to me. Reaching out to them to see, like, am I doing something wrong? If I'm doing something right, where do you see, how can I grow, type of thing, and just listening to them, like listening to their stories. That helps me to see where I am and how I can navigate through situations as well. So it's all about understanding how to be strategic, especially when you're trying to meet and reach out to new people, because you do need to continue to grow. And continue to look up to something that is bigger and better than where you currently are. So it's just been kind of reaching out to people. For me, I've been reaching out to people at networking events, and then making sure that I really, really build the connection by contacting them afterwards, you know, and just building a relationship with them, and not just trying to get something off of them, but just really trying to build a relationship, because I never know where that relationship can take me.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, relationships are so important. Our stories are so important. That's why we share them here on our show. They're so important that we connect with each other, share our gifts, share our stories, because there are so many opportunities out there.
Yeah.
I just believe that we can accomplish so much more together than we can alone. Would you agree?
I definitely agree with that. It takes two to tango, if they say, but it takes a team to really build something and be something successful. Like doing something with one person, it takes a long time because that one person can get worn out, drained, all those things. But if you collaborate with people, if you are looking to really, really grow, honestly, seek out collaboration. If you're looking to really, really go, I honestly seek out relationships that are really going to grow your business, and not just looking at it, well, I don't want them to steal my idea, or I don't want them to steal, what I'm going through, what I'm doing. That's what non-disclosures are for, first of all.
Thank you.
But another thing is you still have to be open to work with others.
Yes.
You still have to be open to making a difference with others. It's not about you. If you think about community is community. It's a bunch of people coming together, right? So even in your business, you need to build community that pushes you, that drives you, that gets you the help that you need, that helps you to grow in ways you've never grown before, that helps you to continue to promote what you're doing without you looking like you're trying to do a million different things. So lean on that community. It's necessary. It's needed. It's the way of life. Like, just do it. It's the way of successful business. Just believe in it.
Yes. Now, how would you define success for yourself?
I would definitely say that my success has just been from believing that I can do something and actually going after it. No matter what the trial or the situation is, just taking the leap over. And I always like to do an analogy where Cincinnati is known for potholes. Okay, so we have potholes all over our streets.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how to navigate the pothole for me. If it comes up, I might fall down, but I'm going to get back up though. And so that's where my success comes from, the fact that I've gotten up and I haven't stayed down. I haven't stayed in a low place. I've navigated through the situation. It may have taken me a second to get there, but to continue to pursue and continue to build and continue to move forward is what I view as success, no matter big or small.
Awesome. And so with that, in your opinion, what has been your greatest success thus far? Is it taking the full leap and leaving corporate America, or is it something different?
This happened in March. So yes, taking the leap has been my biggest success thus far.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So you have to understand that, first of all, we all fall.
Yeah.
At some point.
Right.
And the key is to not stay down.
Yeah. And
is to get back up, to know that you can get back up. Failure is part of the process. Yeah. Again, I think we look at it wrong. That means that you're an innovator, you're creative, you're creating, you're a risk taker.
Yes.
You are courageous.
Yes.
Not everybody is taking on the risk that we're taking as entrepreneurs. Know that. If you're taking a risk, there's a risk that it's not going to succeed. But there's also the chance that you're going to reap bigger rewards. Right. So don't get stuck in that you fail, or you've fallen, or you failed on something. Yeah. That's just a learning experience to rework it. And this is from personal experience. Right. And then I'll take that and I'm like, okay, what is the lesson I can get out of that? How can I rework this? What is this trying to lead me to? Exactly. And then it's not like your final destination. So just know that you can and you will get back up. Yeah. So what 2 or 3 tips that you would offer our audience for things that they can do, or the most important things that they can do to be successful in their business? The most important things they could do is
Build out a actual plan, for what you want to accomplish. I think that's planning is key. Planning is necessary. Whether it is just planning what your day is going to look like or planning what your overall goals are going to be, then that's something that'll help you to work towards something. So you have some level of focus. Going into that a little bit more focus. Keep that focus in front of you. Don't get distracted, because it's easy, especially in entrepreneurship. There's so many things, and another thing, even on social media, there's so many things that you're constantly seeing. They're constantly coming at you, and you go through this period of FOMO where you feel like you're missing out because you haven't accomplished this yet. So focus on your focus. Focus on the goals that you have, because that'll help to keep you from being distracted. And the last thing that I would definitely tell people is just to have some level of consistency. Consistent, when you are building out business, when you are building out what you want to do, in order to keep the fire going, you have to be consistent with it, right? You have to be consistent. And if you have to meditate, you have to be consistent. If you have to in prayer, you have to be consistent. And if you have to in building new relationships with people, if you're building out marketing strategies, you have to be consistent in how you're pushing your content across the board. You have to be consistent in how you're communicating with people on a regular basis. It's just build that level of consistency. That helps you, because you never know, as a result of those pieces of consistency, you never know how that could continue to push you and propel you forward. So that's basically what I really want to tell people, because those are the real keys to any type of level of success in what you do.
And I love that you talked about the focus, because that's something I've been really thinking about, talking about, and eliminating distractions. So many things come to distract you from your focus. Mm-hmm. And it can be things that you think are good things that are you're being helpful to somebody. Right. But if it is not aligned with your purpose, you may need to reconsider that it is distracting you. So sometimes people don't understand what things are distraction. Anything that is taking you away from your dream and your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing is a distraction. And I know for myself, I had to shut down like social media. People are on here, you get distracted, you're here all day, and you have no real purpose or strategic plan for being on social media. Right. And you, like you said, then you get distracted by what everybody else is doing. And you think everybody else is successful and you're not. Right. That is a distraction. And it's a hindrance, because then it builds up a energy of resentment and jealousy and envy in other people. And again, you don't know their story. And what you see, first of all, on social media is not always real. Yeah. And when it is real, you don't know the process that person took to get where they are. Nobody is an overnight success. No. And you may be a success in one area, but everybody has a struggle in some area of their lives. Yeah, definitely. And we're comparing different pages to the story. Right. It's like my path is not your path. Right. I did a live yesterday on Instagram. It was like, I don't know why people are looking at what other people are doing anyway, because their dream is not your dream. Right. Your dream could be bigger than where theirs is. Like you never know, but the simple fact that you're looking at them and you're seeing that they're doing some amazing things or what have you, yours become jealous, become envious, be like, well, I'm gonna do it better. Like that's ignorant. Like focus in on your dream. Right. And that's where I say it's good to have tunnel vision. Yes. Be laser focused on what it is you want to do, what it is you want to accomplish, what is your purpose in life, what is your dream, and go after that with everything you have. Yes, definitely. Have that drive, because there are days you won't be motivated. Right, exactly. But you got to do it despite not having motivation. Right. Because you have to remember your why. Yes.
You still have to go. So yeah, it's that simple, not just a focus. Another thing on this distraction piece is even in your day in and day out, especially as an entrepreneur, people know that you're at home now. Or you're where you are, and they're like, well, since you're an entrepreneur, it's easy for me to contact you. But that doesn't mean you have to pick up the phone every time.
That's right.
Right? Because that could be a distraction.
It often is.
Yeah, it often is. Like you end up being on the phone for like 2 hours, like, oh, where'd the time go? Like,
yes.
There's been times where I left my phone in a completely different room on silent. So I didn't even know what anything was happening. Then I come back and I'm like, oh, I missed 5 calls. Well, I guess what I was able to accomplish when I missed those 5 calls, though. Yes. So just because your phone rings, it doesn't mean you have to answer. Just because somebody text messages you in the middle of your day doesn't mean that you have to respond ASAP. Respond, because I believe in communication. Right. But it's not that imperative if it has nothing to do with what you're trying to accomplish at the moment.
Yes. And it goes back to your policies and processes. So I'm glad you said that, because people feel like they got to answer to everybody. Mm-hmm. But even if you're on social media and you're Messenger, you have tools that tell you set your work time.
Yeah.
You set up your autoresponder to let people know what's happening, when they can contact you, or they can go to your website, or that you respond within at least 24 or 48 hours. Yeah. You do not have to be responding to every single message that comes in to your phone or your email. Even family and friends, they think that you're just sitting home, not doing anything. Oh, it's accessible. I'm here, but I'm working. I'm building a business.
Right.
So you have to be confident in that and communicate that.
Yeah.
Communicate your expectations and communicate boundaries with people, because you will get overwhelmed and exhausted, and then you won't be accomplishing what you need to accomplish.
Yeah.
And you're right. When you put my phone aside, not look at my email, or set a schedule to check my email, or to check and set alarms. That's why we have technology.
Yeah.
I tell people have technology and they're not using it.
Right.
It could be a great benefit, and help you to keep on track with what you need to do. So thank you so much for that. So I have one last question for you.
Okay.
So what if you had a magic stick and you could change anything in the world, what would it be?
I would say that mindsets. I would love to change everybody's mind to believe that they can.
I love that.
Yes, that would be like a major piece. And then I would also, my other thing, because I like warm but cool weather at the same time. Mm-hmm. My magic wand would be 75 degrees every day for 365.
That is so funny. I just talked to my brother that yesterday. I'm like, if it could be between 72 and 75, that's my sweet spot right there. I'm in like heaven. So that's so good. Well, we thank you so much, JoVonne, for being with us on our show today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a joy to speak with you today.
Yes, I know you have inspired me. You have inspired our audience. We're so appreciative of that. And I want to give you the opportunity to please share with our audience again what it is that you do, and how can people find you if they need your services.
All right. So I'm a creative marketing communications coach. I help entrepreneurs build out content marketing strategies that help them present their best message as it relates to building the right strategy for building their clients, understanding who your target client is, understanding how to build out the content in the background of your system and as it relates to policies, procedures, understanding how to push information for social media, push it for email marketing, push it for other types of marketing campaigns that you have. So that is the bulk of what I do. You can contact me on Facebook here. Finding my page at Think About It LLC. That is both on Facebook and Instagram, as well as going to www.thinkaboutit.llc.com.
Awesome. And JoVonne will leave her contact information in the comments after the show. Again, we thank you so much for tuning in with us. If you were not able to join the live broadcast, come back and watch the replay. There were so many awesome nuggets shared here today about dreaming bigger, applying marketing strategies to your business, So I know that will be helpful to you as you pursue your business and continue to grow your business. So please feel free to leave your comments and questions. This this video is always available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We would love to have you on our show. So if you are an entrepreneur and you have a story to share that you want to help to change lives, please, we welcome you to our show. Please visit us on our website at www.intuitiveriskmanagement.com and apply there. If you would like to be a sponsor for our show, we would love to have you as well. You can also go to our website and apply there. We are here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live with a new guest that will inspire and empower you. So tune in with us next week. And until then, continue to pursue your dreams. We wish you all the success in the world, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.